Hello and welcome back to this week's Go Buff Sports live show. I'm Harrison Simeon.
And I'm Brittany Garcia, and we have a lot of sports to cover this week, so let's dive right in.
Colorado football is back. The Buffs Black and Gold Spring Game is slated for Saturday, April 11th at 1 p.m. Admission is free and includes Ralphie Seven's first run of 2026, weather permitting. It caps CU's spring practices, which start on March 2nd. For more later in the show, you'll hear from Oliver and Leo in this week's Buff Banner.
Colorado women's basketball cruised to a dominant 30-point win over BYU last weekend. And Anel Dutot scored a career high of 19 points and brought down 10 rebounds. Desiree Wooden recorded 16 points and 7 assists, while Jade Masagayo had 15 points. The Buffs out-rebounded the Cougars by their largest margin this season.
It's a world between known and unknown, a vacuum of space and time. Last Tuesday, Colorado women's basketball entered Tucson, Arizona. The Buffs were in a neck-and-neck battle with the lowly Wildcats. CU had 25 turnovers, a season high. But something odd occurred. The Buffaloes dominated the glass, allowing 8 fewer rebounds than they committed turnovers. It was the fewest boards CU had allowed in a game ever. And down 7 with 5 minutes left in front of a roaring McHale Center, more weirdness took root. The Buffalo scored 18 of the game's final 21 points, snatching a 78-70 win. On the night, Anel Dutot had a career-high 20 points. That's how CU saved its March Madness chances and once again escaped Tucson, Arizona.
After taking a 34-point loss game prior, men's hoops took 22 BYU to overtime in Provo, led by freshman Isaiah Johnson's 27 points. The Buffs were neck and neck most of the game. Eventually, they took a 6-point lead in the early goings of the second half. Before guard Rob Wright exploded for the Cougars, Wright scored 23 second-half points, going on 100% from the field and finishing with 39 in overtime. The Buffaloes couldn't buy a bucket, going 2 for 10, allowing BYU to salt the game away.
Johnson's big night has us hankering for this week's trivia question. He scored 27 on Saturday, reaching 430 points this season. That's already top 5 in CU freshman history, but we're asking you, how many points away is Isaiah Johnson from Alec Burks' freshman scoring record? We'll answer that later in the show.
Next up, the men's team will host the Oklahoma State Cowboys on Saturday at 1:30. The Buffs are on a 2-game losing skid, falling to Texas Tech and BYU, both ranked teams. The Cowboys haven't won a game in over 2 weeks, but their last win was against a number 23 ranked BYU Cougars. Both teams are desperately looking for momentum heading into the Big 12 Championship tournament. You could read about the game on our website shortly after the final whistle.
After Kansas State fired head coach Jerome Tang last week, the Buffs will host the Wildcats. Guard P.J. Haggerty leads K-State with nearly 24 points and 5 rebounds per game. Kansas State has a top 5 three-point shot in the conference, while Colorado gives up the most. The Buffs will need to bring their best perimeter defense and limit turnovers. Tip-off is set for 7 from the CU Event Center this Wednesday.
On the bubble for the NCAA tournament, women's hoops has a chance to boost their resume Saturday. They host number 20 ranked Texas Tech in hopes for an upset with 3 games remaining. However, the Lady Raiders are coming off a 31-point win in Lubbock against the 15th-ranked Baylor. Texas Tech is a perimeter-heavy squad led by Bailey Maupin's 15 points per game. It will be a defensive challenge as the Lady Raiders allow the second least points per game in the Big 12. With the tournament chances on the line, Colorado is a must-win situation.
After hoping to earn the upset, they stay in Boulder to host the Utah Utes. Utah is also a bubble squad as the first team out of the tournament per ESPN. However, the Utes are riding a roller coaster, beating ranked teams but losing to some of the worst in the conference. If the Buffs can capture 2 home wins at home against Utah and Texas Tech, they will be firmly in the NCAA tournament conversation.
Colorado women's lacrosse secured a win at their first home game on Sunday against Cornell University, 8-5. CU was led by junior attacker Tegan Ryan and junior attacker Jamie Hill, who had 3 and 2 goals respectively. This was their first meeting between the two teams, and Colorado was able to walk away 1-0 against Cornell.
The Buffs will look to follow up that performance against 1-3 Towson tomorrow. The Tigers are led by Katie Roscoe and Hannah Lewis's 8 goals each. CU's defense, led by Big 12 Defender of the Week Jess Peluso, has found success winning ground balls and forcing turnovers so far this season. Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Week Elena O has had an easy time in net in the young season, only having to make 13 saves in their home opener against Cornell. First draw from Kitty Field is set for noon tomorrow.
After Saturday's game, the Buffs will hit the road and hit to Stony Brook, New York, to play the Stony Brook Seawolves. Colorado will look to stay undefeated on the road against 1-0 Stony Brook team that is just getting their season started. In the matchup last season, CU held on 1-goal lead at home against a fourth quarter comeback attempt by the Seawolves for a 7-6 win. The Buffs will try to win their first game at Luval Stadium in program history on Thursday, February 26 at 4 p.m. Mountain Time.
Guess what? It's time for the WWCHL playoffs. The Buffaloes have made the postseason and will host the tournament this weekend. CU plays the Grand Canyon Antelopes shortly after the show at 4:30, and the Utah Utes on Saturday at 4:30. The championship will be on Sunday at 11 a.m., where the winner will punch its ticket to Nationals in St. Louis. Paxton Haynes sat down with 2 Buffs at practice on Wednesday to hear their thoughts on the upcoming playoff run.
Colorado Buffaloes women's hockey team has returned to the playoffs in the Women's Western Collegiate Hockey League. In this playoff, here we go, the final game of pool play in the WWCHL playoffs. By the end of the night, we are going to know who will be playing for a spot in Nationals. But that has yet to be decided. The Grand Canyon Antelopes and Montana State Bobcats play in Game 4 of 4 here on Saturday night. Welcome into Scope of Sports. I'm Paxton Haynes with Kieran Werger. So Kieran, here's what we know. The Montana State Bobcats have unfortunately been eliminated because they cannot get a tiebreaker over Utah because the Utes beat Montana State last night. It means that because they lost mathematically, no matter what they do in this game, Montana State is not going to be playing tomorrow morning. For Grand Canyon, it's a little hairy. Utah is in a pretty good spot right now. Even though they lost in overtime today, things are looking good for them right now. They are watching on, and they will be rooting for Montana State in this game. Here is the clinching scenario for Grand Canyon. So, if Grand Canyon shuts out Montana State, they are automatically in. If Grand Canyon lets up a goal, here's how it's going to go. Grand Canyon either a shutout win or a win today, and they allow less than 2 goals. They cannot allow 2 goals. They can only allow 1. That is because of the tiebreaker scenario that is goals against. After head-to-head, it goes goals against. And because of Miranda D'Antoniano, Utah's goalie, has let in so few goals over the course of the weekend, it means that Grand Canyon is only allowed to allow 1. If Montana State scores a second goal, Utah is automatically in, regardless of what the outcome of the actual game is. Then, if Grand Canyon lets up 1 goal, they have to win by 4 or more. That is because of the next tiebreaker. So if Grand Canyon lets up 1 goal, that means that GCU and Utah would have the same goals against over the course of the weekend. And so then the next tiebreaker is goal differential. Utah has the advantage right now in that condition. Grand Canyon has to win by 4 or more. They cannot win by only 4 because then that would force the next tiebreaker, which is penalties taken, but Utah already has that one. Utah's only taken 3 penalties over the course of the weekend. Grand Canyon took 4 last night, so that's already done for GCU. So I know it's a lot to the people at home. Bear with us and trust us. We've been cranking all day on the math here, Kieran. But anyway, the point is, GCU's got to win. They got to win big, or they got to completely shut down Montana State.
Yeah, Montana State at this point, they're just playing for pride against these Antelopes from Grand Canyon coming up here from Arizona to play in this WWCHL tournament. It's been a great one here so far, Paxton. Last night we saw all of these squads face off. We saw Colorado play Utah. Just before this, that was one heck of a game. And Utah utterly just dominated Montana State last night, resulting in their unfortunate situation right now in the playoff pool. And GCU, they're fighting for that spot right now in the championship game, which will take place tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Absolutely. No doubt Grand Canyon coming in with a chip on their shoulder after that heartbreaking loss in overtime to Colorado. We'll see. I honestly doubt that Grand Canyon knows the stakes for themselves and what they have to do, because that's insane stuff that we just went through. I barely expect us to get a grasp on it. But anyway, we're going to head down to the rink for starting lineups and the national anthem.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sweet Website of the second day of the WWCHL playoffs. Today's matchup is between the Montana State Bobcats and the Grand Canyon Antelopes. And now the starting lineup for the Grand Canyon Antelopes. At right wing, number 10, Haley Gray. At left wing, number 17, Abigail Brake. At center, number 12, Janae Zucks. At right defense, number 5, Taylor Zahalka. At left defense, number 27, Kelsey Bonello. And in net for the Antelopes, number 3, Annika Olsen. And now the starting lineup for the Montana State Bobcats. At right wing, number 6, Erin Gallagher. At left wing, number 19, Asiana Schott. At center, number 20, Marin Snyder. At right defense, number 24, Sophie Morissette. At left defense, number 28, Bryn McKinney. And in net for the Bobcats, number 31, Emma Carlson. If you are able, please rise and move your caps to the playing of the national anthem.
As the Gwen Stefani plays overhead to introduce our final game of pool play. To take a look at our goaltenders this evening. No surprise for Grand Canyon, it is Annika Olsen, who had a huge weekend last weekend against the Arizona State Sun Devils. and then came in a valiant effort, lost to the Colorado Buffaloes. But on the Montana State is a little bit of a surprise. It's going to be Emma Carlson, not Reese McConnell. McConnell has the best stats of any goaltender in the WWCHL. But after letting up 4 last night, it looks like Montana State is going to go with the backup. Her stats are a 3.41 goals against average and a 9.23 save percentage in her 7 starts. We will see how the switch-up fares for Montana State.
Looks like our very own SBS sideline reporter Quinn Craig hanging out in the sin bin.
That was a funny little visual watching him waddle along the ice. And here we go. Antelopes in black, Bobcats in white. Puck is down and we are underway. Funny enough, every single jersey matchup in this playoffs is black versus white. Regardless of who it's going to be tomorrow, it is going to be black versus white in the championship. Unless Utah decides to switch it up and go with their red jerseys. We shall see. Maybe they want to switch up the mojo should they play Colorado again. We get our first whistle. It is an ice, and we will head down to the west side for a face-off. Grand Canyon finished the season 17-10, 0-1, and won 12 of their last 13 in the regular season. Second in the WWCHL, they tied Utah in terms of points with 35, but lost the tiebreaker. Schleining lost the puck by the blue line. Here comes Gallagher from Montana State. Entering the zone, it's Ramsey on it after the puck got away from Gallagher. Gallagher laying a hit onto Ramsey, and to help is Zooks. Snyder grabbed it and then lost it. Gray goes behind to slow things down, get some Bobcats off of her, and now Grand Canyon looks to turn up the ice the way, but they turn it over. A weak shot put on when there was a stick in the way. Now up top, Cheney letting it rip, never got to the net. Brigg grabs it for Grand Canyon. Up ahead, the pass is accurate to Zooks, but that number 4 threw her off the puck. Looks like we might get icing. No, it is too slow getting to the line. Here's Cheney. Cheney over to Roberts at the blue line. Got knocked out the puck. Did the Bobcats. Now here's Volman. Volman lets it rip. Save made by Carlson, her first of the night.
Emma Carlson with an easy save. Her first of the night as GCU came charging down into that zone. So far, pressure's been pretty even so far. We're only just under 2 minutes in.
D-zone faceoff won by Montana State. They're unable to get it out of the zone, though. It's Sorensen with the puck. Sorensen put in front of the crease. No Antelopes there. Now there's an Antelope there. It's Armit, or Sorensen, excuse me. Puck is loose. No one's put a shot on. Now a rip there from Larson. Never got to the net. Sorensen slows it down. A backhand pass up top missed. And so Grand Canyon has got to get back to the blue line. They can't touch that puck, but Larson does so anyway and forces a whistle.
There go the Antelopes once again, applying that pressure in their opposing end. And Montana State just trying to hold on to what they've got, but this will be forced out to neutral territory.
Here is the Hulka. The Hulka. That shot rebounds. Save Carlson. The Hulka with 2 chances at the net. The first one couldn't get there and then picked up the rebound and put a nice shot on. Carlson gobbled it up.
My goodness. Carlson facing countless shots so far in the opening minutes of play. She stood up to the challenge so far, despite only playing in 7 games this season.
Already 2 shots on goal for the Lopes. Huey puts it backhand wraparound try. Carlson's not going to get a whistle. Now she finally does. The ref's taking a second. We've got a little bit of action going on in front of the crease. They've got to be separated. In the mix there was Natalia Hui of Grand Canyon, fighting with, I believe, Sophie Morissette. Face off won by the Bobcats. Here's Cheney. Cheney looking to reverse course. Got knocked off the puck. Montana State is able to clear. Now Cheney trying to get a step, getting past Brigg. First view, that is Bonello. Out is Johnson into the neutral zone. Dumped it. It's going to be a race to the puck, won by Grand Canyon. Now here's Brigg. Brigg lost it. Zooks. Cutting down. Now below the net. Putting it in front. Ramsey with a shot. It goes just wide of the net. Kicked out. Kept in. Brigg. Brigg makes a pass to Gray. Gray, a shot. It goes over and hits the referee, which tees up number 4 nicely on Montana State. Now here she comes. Dumping it in so her and the rest of the Bobcats can get a change. 4 minutes have gone by in this first period. That puck went through the skates of Isabel Zavitz. Haley Gray tripped up a little bit, letting him play. A couple of Lopes fans not too happy with it, but we saw that penalties were hard to come by in the Colorado-Utah game, just as they were on Friday night. A hit is put on in the boards, but it is kept in by the Bobcats forecheck. Gray trying to force it out, can't do so, but she's going to get a little bit of help from Briggs. Briggs looking for a pass in front of the net, just sent wide by Cricky. Tied up in the corner. Here's Ramsey with the puck below the net. Bothered by the stick of Zimbicki Lewis. Finch into the slot, trying to put a shot on. Can't corral that puck, too many sticks in the way. Now Ramsey lets it go. Finch in the corner, putting it in front again. Cricky wasn't there in time. Cricky, the Colorado native in her home state, looking to play for a championship. Finch has got it. Grand Canyon applying some pressure here. Long possession that they have sustained. Cricky. Back to her. Excuse me, that is Armit. Now a shot is gloved down by Emma Carlson on Hannah McCarthy, her first shot of the weekend on goal.
Beautiful chances for the Antelopes to generate scoring opportunities out in front of that net. And they just have not been able to sneak one past Carlson yet. A little bit, those shots, whether they have been sent wide or just swallowed up by Carlson.
A bunch of passes. Sorry, Kieran. A bunch of passes have gone right into the slot from Grand Canyon. No one's just been able to get their stick on it. That's good, strong play here by Faith Hobbs, as she's able to enter the zone, but then Zahalka took that puck away. Now Miller, Hobbs missed everything. Zahalka with a backhand pass, almost teamed up with Johnson, but the puck came off of her tape. Gray trying to force himself around the forecheck of Volman. Getting some help from McKenney. MSU is able to clear thanks to Schleining, who was not able to keep it on her stick right at the blue line. Back in the zone, Cheney's got the puck from Montana State. Schleining throws it back in. Cheney again. From Bayport, Minnesota, coming up with some steam over the blue line. Fakes the slapper, and no shots end up being put on, or at least not a very good one. And looks like we are going to get a penalty on Abigail Brigg. It's a hook. This Grand Canyon team struggling. Oh no, excuse me. It is a penalty on Montana State. It is Grace Cheney who got the hook. So a power play opportunity here for Grand Canyon, looking to strike first. Two minutes on the clock, where Cheney will have to sit next to our ringside reporter, Quinn Craig. Here is the Lopes power play. Brigg, shot, never got there. Stays with it. Brigg calming that puck down, kicking it to her stick. Staying with it. Gonna skate into the left circle, now putting it in front. Got wide of the net. Gray sent down to the ice. Now Zaholka waiting to shoot. Zaholka pass in front. Grand Canyon just continuing to look for players in the slot. The passes are getting there, but then shots are not. Now deflect, shot, score! Janae Zooks on the power play. Grand Canyon's on the board.
What a play by Zooks, taking advantage of that open right side of the net. Carlson, unaware of where that puck was, she slips it right past. An easy power play goal for the Antelopes.
That is Zooks' fourth power play goal of the season, the most on Grand Canyon. She has 4 goals in her last 4 games, and now 20 total on the year. Utah watching on, hoping that Montana State can put something on the board and that Grand Canyon doesn't run up the score. Bobcats are off sides. Face-off will be in the neutral zone. Emma Carlson for Montana State made her first 3 stops, but hard to stop Zooks on the power play. Grand Canyon, not exactly the best power play team. They are only 84% on the year, but they cashed in that time. In the corner, fighting for it is Tarn, along with multiple Antelopes. They come away with the puck, and then a shot got sticked aside. Larson put it in front, no one there for GCU. Flipped up and out of the zone. Shock was looking for it, but instead it is going to be a cover-up from Carlson. 11:44 to go. The championship game will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. here at this rink and on this network. Is Colorado, and then we will see who they are going to play, whether it be Utah or Grand Canyon. Technically, I know that, actually I'm not going to say that, there's still so much game to go. I won't speak into the future quite yet regarding who it would be in the championship. Pretty much the simple thing is Montana State wins, it's Utah. Grand Canyon wins, it's them unless they give too many goals or can't score enough. Ramsey to Schleining. Over to Huey, who's got to corral that puck and make a cross-ice pass through the air. Carlson freezes it. 10:51 in the first period. Here are the clinching scenarios. So, Utah clinches if the Bobcats win it, or if the Bobcats score 2 goals, or if the Bobcats lose by 3 or less. A lot of ifs going on right now. We will make it all make sense to you as the game rolls on. Montana State ices the puck. Annika Olsen has a .206 goals against average and a .937 save percentage. She's going to have to be at her very, very best in this game if the Lopes want to play on Sunday. A shot right at the face-off is patted aside. Gray Flips it down. There to grab it is O'Hara. And thrown into the boards by multiple Bobcats is Abigail Brigg. Brigg, the Antelopes' best player, 42 points on the season. She had a goal last night from Domain of Manitoba, one of a few Canadians on this Grand Canyon roster. Out comes Montana State. The other way, it's Roberts. Roberts threw it on. Glove down by Olsen, and she'll hold on. The first shot of the game for Montana State comes from Nicola Roberts. And we'll get a face-off in front of Annika Olsen. To take it is Maren Snyder for the Bobcats, and she wins it. The puck is bouncing around a little bit. Calmed down by Cricky, forced into a tie-up in the corner. At the point was Vicky Lewis with the puck from Montana State, but out comes Grand Canyon the other way. That shot from Briggs was blocked in front. Taken up, not out by Gallagher, but Briggs had the puck on her stick, but couldn't quite walk that blue line, so a face-off will be in the neutral zone.
Looks like the Lopes a little jumpy as we get into the second half of this period. 9:22 remaining. They lead by 1. That offsides will force them out to neutral zone.
Face-off won by the Lopes. They throw a high up into the air, taken by the glove of Chisake Susi. Over to her D partner. Montana State unable to clear. Grand Canyon last night against Colorado was so good on the forecheck and forcing long sustained offensive possessions. Somehow CU was able to only let up 2 goals, thanks in part to their many blocked shots. And of course the heroics of Shira Wine, the Colorado netminder. Hewitt over to McCarthy. Out to the neutral zone where it's stopped there by the legs of Cheney. And now here comes Zavitz over the red line. Both her and Huey went down to the ice when they ran into each other. Cheney's got it again. Looking for a pass up ahead for Miller, but it missed her. McCarthy able to turn around and force it out. Here comes Hobbs. Hobbs knocked up the puck by Volman. Johnson bringing some help. Across comes the puck, but the Antelopes are offsides. They've got to retreat. Hobbs grabs it. Backhand pass, well behind Zoe Smith. Staying with the puck is Montana State for the moment as the players crash into the near side boards. Volman across to Bonello. Banked into the zone. Here's the Hulka. It's a Hulka pass in front. No one home for the Antelopes. They're just going to keep trying it until it works, it seems. Break the first one to the puck. Looking to shake a defender. Does so effectively. Now cutting left. Puts one on. Pad save made. Gray is there. Pass down to Briggs. In front of the net. Looking for a turnaround shot. Maybe no. It's Zooks, the goal scorer. So instead she'll walk up and shoot. Covered up by Emma Carlson. Save number 6 in the first period.
My goodness, that shot made it all the way through traffic and it's swallowed up by Carlson. The fact that it got to her is a miracle.
First line will remain on the ice for Grand Canyon. They win the faceoff. Bonello just poked it ahead, and it comes out thanks to the help of number 4. Here's Roberts. Roberts took one on well wide. Tied up by the right circle. A lot of bodies in the mix there. 6:45 to go in this first period. Zooks on the power play is our lone goal so far in this one. That pass missed Zooks and is going to be icing. No, it's waved off. The puck slowly getting there. got a little tied up by the post of Carlson. And now out comes Roberts. Roberts sent down to her knees, and across was Fornwald. Or excuse me, that was Ramsey. Fornwald is a goaltender for Grand Canyon. Ramsey bothered hard on the forecheck by Schacht. Able to escape that pressure and get it out to her teammate in Sorensen. Changing course, Chisake Susi breaking some ankles, staying with that puck, and got the Lopes off of her so that Montana State can enter the zone. Shocked. Love down by Annika Olsen. 5:43 to go in this first period. GCU doing what they need to do if they want to see Sunday morning. Montana State, of course, just playing for pride and perhaps to play spoiler on Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon and GCU have met up this season. They split their series. A shot from Chisake Susi is sent aside. Now top here's Cheney for Chisake Susi. Back to Cheney, just kept in. Over for ACS again. Now kick to her stick, trying to at least, was Maren Snyder. ACS can't keep that puck in. Montana State's got to tag up. And now starting things up is Volman. Volman had an assist last night. Has 24 total points on the year among the top point getters on this Grand Canyon Antelopes roster. The Bobcats are offsides. As the classic early and mid-2000s pop music plays overhead by our rec center employees attending and working this game tonight, as they've done a great job over the course of the entire weekend for all of our games, from the Rocky Mountain Face-Off this afternoon into our 2 women's games tonight. A blast, never got through on the shot from Bonello. Now the other way is Smith. Smith across the blue line, one-on-one for her, cuts, makes a move, and then fanned on the shot. Brigg, pinning down Hendrickson in the corner. Here is Morissette. Morissette changes course, a little bit of a spin move trying to shake Johnson. Out comes Volman and Armit the other way. Volman forced himself around DeMarnis and then went in front of the crease, thrown aside by the stick. About 3:45 to go in this first period. Grand Canyon is offside. That puck came back across the blue line. The second line will stay out for the Antelopes. Chisake Susi for Montana State, over to Cheney. Cheney working up ice, looking for a pass ahead to Roberts, but Volman was in the way. Now Ramsey collides with Lawrence. A shot into the glove of Annika Olsen. One nothing Grand Canyon. Shots are 7-2 in favor of the Lopes. That goose egg that Montana State has, very important regarding the championship. Zahalka up and out of the zone. Pass a little too far for Finch, but Finch is going to be the first one to get there from an awkward angle. Puts the pass on, score! Janae Zooks once again, what a feed. 2-0 Antelopes.
Zooks, her second of the night. And ladies and gentlemen, this game is 2-0 GCU. Aaliyah Finch with the assist.
And what an incredible assist It was. The pass was a little too far for her in the neutral zone, but she put on the burners. And then from the goal line, put a pass right in front, like we've been saying, Kieran. They're just looking for those passes right into the slot all night long. Finally, it catches in. Zooks was there and in time. Number 2 on the night for Janae Zooks. That is 21 on the year. Back the other way, it is Shocked with the puck from Montana State. Got a couple of defenders off her. We'll put it up top for Morissette. Morissette with the blast, missed everything. Hui backhands it out of the zone. And now here she comes, Natalia Hui, making some moves. Now Volman across the blue line. Volman got 2 on her, makes a nice move. She shoots save made by Carlson. Good toe drag there from Alyssa Volman. Now a shot from Briggs set aside by the kick save of Carlson. Loose in the crease. Grand Canyon wants more. The first line is out for them. Brigg looking for a pass. Backhanded through the legs of Gallagher. And then a slapper put on. Blocked in front by her own teammate. Schleining looking for a pass in front. Ramsey is not able to keep it in. So now here is Montana State. Gallagher couldn't bring the puck with her across the blue line. Sent down by Shocked. Played by the stick of Olsen. 1.5 minutes to go here in the first period. Forecheck of Miller. In an effort to keep the puck in. Tied up at the blue line. And it came across. Therefore, Bobcats are offsides. And looks like we've got a Pitch Perfect theme going on with the music overhead. I'm a big fan. That is one of my all-time favorites. Briggs in a race with Chisake Susi, and ACS got a penalty coming up on her. The second power play opportunity of the night coming up for Grand Canyon. They cashed in the first time, and now they've got another.
Big moment here for the Lopes to make this potentially 3-0 heading into the first intermission. 1:03 remaining on the game clock for period number 1, so we will start with a Lopes power play in the second.
First unit is out for the Antelopes. The Montana State Bobcats are very good on the kill, 94%. But not so lucky the first time, and then that one got a little tight for the Bobcats, but Carlson was able to hold on. Oh. 51.8, 145 in the Chisake Susi penalty. Chisake Susi from high-level Alberta. A lot of Canadians being represented here tonight. Of course, the United States defeated the Canadians in the women's gold medal match as Olsen holds on. Good deflection in front by Grand Canyon. And then tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, is the U.S. and the Canadians on the men's side for the gold. It's a Halka to Brigg. Brigg lets it go. And a good blocked shot there by Aaron Gallagher. First clear of the power play for Montana State. In pursuit and trying to rattle Brigg by slapping their stick on the ice. Cleared again by Montana State. The Lopes coach calls for a change. Second unit coming out. In hard is Aaron Gallagher looking to throw off Abigail Brigg. 10 seconds left to go in the period. Last chance here for Grand Canyon to put one in before we go to the room. It's a Hulka with a blast pad save made, and that is going to do it after 20 minutes. The Lopes struck twice, once on the power play and then the even strength. Both of them came from Janae Zooks. And right now they're looking good in terms of their chances to see Sunday morning. They've got to hold on for 2 more periods here. They make it to that championship game with a shutout. and they are only allowed to give up 1 goal. Annika Olsen did her job there in the first. Overall, a solid period from Grand Canyon. It looked like they're controlling play and taking it to Montana State.
Absolutely. I mean, Grand Canyon, Zooks has 2 goals on the night so far. Should probably be looking for a hat trick in the coming 40 minutes. But overall, that period was all GCU. And that was just an overall incredible effort. It's even in the last minute of play, a dangerous shot came on Carlson, and she's able to swallow that one up right in as that puck came in from traffic. Holy cow, what a goal that was.
Absolutely. Carlson, the MSU goaltender tonight, in relief of Reese McConnell, who started on Friday, gave up 4, and the coaching staff decided it was time to get their backup in there. First line rolling, though. For Grand Canyon, not much that she can do. That's going to do it for the first period. Grand Canyon is up 2-0 on Montana State. Middle frame coming your way here on Go Buff Sports.
North Texas, Baylor, and the Texas Longhorns with 3 positive pitching performances. And their one loss to Oklahoma, the Buffs still scored 13 runs but allowed 17 in an outlier game. Sophomore catcher Charlie Lesh tallied 3 hits to take home the Mid-America West Player of the Week award, and senior president Nathan Hoffman won Pitcher of the Week after throwing 6 scoreless innings. Following the successful weekend, Colorado got attention in the NCBA Top 20 poll, being the second team with the second most votes without a ranking. CU gets a few weeks off before beginning its season's full swing against Utah on March 7th.
Good evening from snowy Boulder, Colorado. I'm Trip Malden, here to bring you your Olympic recap. Starting us off for the week, we have Ryder Sarchet, who competed in the giant slalom event, finishing 25th overall. The former Buffalo Joanne Reed finished 72nd overall in the women's 7.5K sprint biathlon. Alvar Alev finished strong in the men's 10K final, finishing 28th overall. Hugo Hickenfuss also competed and finished 66th. Sve Irving advanced to the halfpipe final, finishing 8th overall and was one of only 2 Americans to qualify. Cassidy Gray started the women's giant slalom but sadly crashed in the first run and did not finish. The women's hockey team made a stunning comeback against Canada after a goal early in the second period left the U.S. trailing all game. A late goal in the third by team captain Hillary Knight sent the game into overtime, with a goal by Megan Heller winning the game for the United States. That's all we have for this week. Good luck to all of the Buffs who still have competitions.
The Buffs competed in the Spencer James Nelson Memorial Invitation on Saturday. The Buffs showed out at Howelson Hill with a victory of Joe Haynes Flatane. He was joined on the podium by a Storm Peterson, who finished third. For the women, there was a second-place finish for Astrid Lundi, who was joined by Tildy Bangman, who was finished third. This left the Buffs winning 3 out of the 8 races this weekend.
After going 2-1 last weekend, which included giving Minnesota its first loss of the season, the tennis team has another busy slate ahead of them, this time in Las Vegas. Today, the team is wrestling with UNLV. Tomorrow, Colorado takes on Gonzaga and Utah Tech. The ITA has the tennis team ranked 56th in the nation, and a 3-win weekend would come with a lot of momentum.
The track and field indoor season is winding down. The Colorado Last Chance Invitational is underway. At the meet, 18 seniors are being honored. The prime time event today is the men's event Distance Melody Relay, where CU, BYU, NAU, and New Mexico are looking to solidify their spot for the NCAA championship race. This is the last meet before the Big 12 Indoor Championship next weekend.
The men's golf team finished 16th out of 24 universities competing at the PGA West. The third round was canceled due to high winds, leaving Stanford the winner after 2. The Buffs shot 19 strokes over par in the first round, putting them near the bottom of the leaderboard. The black and gold were able to turn things around, shooting just 3 shots over par on day 2. The wind was a factor all weekend, with only 3 schools finishing under par. Meanwhile, the women's team will head to Sacramento, California to compete in the Causeway Invitational. The first 2 rounds will be played on Monday, with the final being held on Tuesday.
The Buffs announced their spring volleyball schedule on Wednesday. CU's first spring match will be at Northern Colorado in Greeley on March 28th, then followed up by matches against Wyoming at 12:30. The Buffs will then host CSU at the Events Center April 4th at 11:30 a.m. Then will travel to Fort Collins for a match 2 weekends later on April 28th, and following that match will play against the Denver Pioneers.
Former Colorado men's basketball star KJ Simpson is heading back to the Mile High, signing a 2-way deal with the Denver Nuggets on Wednesday. Simpson spent 3 seasons in Boulder, was first-team All-Pac-12 in 2024, and was taken 42nd overall by the Charlotte Hornets in that year's NBA draft. Denver opened a 2-way spot after converting forward Spencer Jones' contract to a standard deal yesterday. After being waived earlier this month, Simpson now gets a fresh opportunity to continue his NBA career close to where he started in college. Another former Buff and forward Jabari Walker re-signed with the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year deal. Walker has appeared in 46 games this season, making 6 starts.
Colorado forward Hope Leba has been selected for the training camp with the under-23 U.S. women's national team. Leba has scored 32 career goals at Boulder, tying Kate Griffin for 4th in team history. She will go into her senior season with a chance to top CU career record for goals, Shira James at 47. This past season, the Buffaloes ended their season 17-4-3, 8-1-2 in Big 12 play. This is a major step forward for Leba and a proud moment for the Buffs program.
Hey Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 5 plays in Colorado sports. Tons of variety this week for once. So we're diving right in with our number 5 pick this week. Let's go to women's hoops to start off. Maeve Mackerlane going up, driving, and she'll make it to the basket as she goes down. What a play to put the Buffs back on top in the third quarter against Arizona. Holy cow. Let's stay at women's hoops for number 4. This time it's Anael Dutot from Jade Masagayo, and she makes the backdoor cut. Ladies and gentlemen, what a play indeed, going right to the basket. Beautiful cut by Dutot, and what a game that was for her down in Tucson. Now for number 3, let's go over to lacrosse, our first lax play of the week this year. And it's taken by Tegan Ryan. She rips it past for a hat trick on the day. Colorado starting off their season red hot. Number 2, let's stay with more women's sports. Let's go over to women's hockey. Look out, here comes Anna Masiello. 1-on-1 on the breakaway, and she scores right between the legs against DU in the final home game of the regular season. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 now, let's go over to men's hoops. It's Isaiah Johnson. He's going to hang on to it himself. Going out to his left. Finally driving up court. Alley-oop and the deck attack! Isaiah Johnson, 27 points on the night against BYU, though it was a loss. That's going to do it for this week's Plays of the Week here on Scoba Sports. I'm Kieran Warger, wishing you a wonderful weekend. Here we see Xavier McNevitz working on his reader for the live show. If we didn't have these readers done by Thursday night, chances are we would not be airing this show right now. Be like Xavier. Get your readers done. And don't forget to click save so that you don't lose any of your hard-earned work.
Hey Buffs fans, I'm Jake Zhao bringing you this week's Rapid Fire. Tomorrow, Colorado women's lacrosse will look to keep their red-hot start to the season going as they host the Towson Tigers. First draw is set for noon at the Kittredge Fields, or you can watch live on ESPN+. Then afterwards, take the short trek to the CU Event Center right after as your Buffs men's basketball team hosts the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Tip-off is set for 1:30 p.m. and will be streamed live on TNT. Then celebrate your women's basketball seniors as they host top 20 rated Texas Tech. The women's are slated to play in March, so catch some hoops action from the CU Event Center at 7 p.m. That game will be streamed live on ESPN+. And coming out the busy weekend, catch the WWCHL Championship from the CU Rec Center against either Colorado, Montana State, GCU, or Utah. That game will be right here on Sco Buff Sports on Sunday. It's a busy weekend, so be sure to support your Buffs. Back to you at the desk.
Whatever, Jake. Mid-rapid fire. Now it's time for this week's trivia answer. As a reminder, we asked you how many points away is Isaiah Johnson from Colorado's freshman scoring record. Drum roll, s'il vous plaît. The answer is 83. Johnson is closing in on Alec Burks' freshman record of 512. The mark has stood since 2010. Burks also set CU's single-season scoring record as a sophomore with 779. And after this year, we'd bet on Johnson to push that too. Oh, now it's time for the tweet of the week. And we head to Tad Boyle, who had a surprise visitor. It was Derek White, who came to the weekly radio basketball show with Mark Johnson. And that's all we have for you guys this week. I'm Harrison Simeon.
And I'm Brittany Garcia.
And you heard it here first. Hello and welcome back to this week's Sco Buff Sports Live Show. I'm Harrison Simeon.
And I'm Brittany Garcia, and we have a lot of sports to cover this week, so let's dive right in.
Colorado football is back. The Buffs Black and Gold Spring Game is slated for Saturday, April 11th at 1 p.m. Admission is free and includes Ralphie Seven's first run of 2026, weather permitting. It caps CU's spring practices, which start on March 2nd. For more later in the show, you'll hear from Oliver and Leo in this week's Buff Banner.
Colorado women's basketball cruised to a dominant 30-point win over BYU last weekend. And Anel Dutot scored a career high of 19 points and brought down 10 rebounds. Desiree Wooden recorded 16 points and 7 assists, while Jade Masagayo had 15 points. The Buffs out-rebounded the Cougars by their largest margin this season.
It's a world between known and unknown, a vacuum of space and time. Last Tuesday, Colorado women's basketball entered Tucson, Arizona. The Buffs were in a neck-and-neck battle with the lowly Wildcats. CU had 25 turnovers, a season high. But something odd occurred. The Buffaloes dominated the glass, allowing 8 fewer rebounds than they committed turnovers. It was the fewest boards CU had allowed in a game ever. And down 7 with 5 minutes left in front of a roaring McHale Center, more weirdness took root. The Buffalo scored 18 of the game's final 21 points, snatching a 78-70 win. On the night, Anel Dutot had a career-high 20 points. That's how CU saved its March Madness chances and once again escaped Tucson, Arizona.
After taking a 34-point loss game prior, men's hoops took 22 BYU to overtime in Provo, led by freshman Isaiah Johnson's 27 points. The Buffs were neck and neck most of the game. Eventually, they took a 6-point lead in the early goings of the second half, before guard Rob Wright exploded for the Cougars.
Grand Canyon's looking good. They're up 2-0 on Montana State, looking to make their way into the Sunday morning WWCHL Conference Championship. I'm Paxton Haynes with Kieran Warger. I would say Quinn Craig ringside, but not really. He's kind of just working. He ended up working the game in the penalty box.
He's chilling in the sin bin right now, man. He said he might try to get some interviews, so we'll see.
But anyway, I digress. Grand Canyon looking good. The way that it works right now, if they shut out the Montana State Bobcats, they are in to the championship. They are allowed to give up 1 goal. If they do that, then they must win by 4 or more. And they are not allowed to give up 2. If they give up 2 goals or more, then it is automatically Utah in for a rematch with the Buffaloes tomorrow morning. Crazy stuff, we know. Just trust us on this as there's a look at Quinn in the box. Let's see if he wants to talk to Aiden Tusake Susi, who is in the sin bin. Quinn, let's send it down to you. Maybe not.
I think this is the most fun I've had all day. Just having Quinn in the sin bin talking to some of the players has just been hilarious. Apparently, from what we've heard, Montana State, very nice team.
They are a good bunch. The girls from Bozeman, really from all over. We were talking about at the break that there are so many Minnesotans and Canadians represented amongst these two teams compared to Colorado and Utah, who are a little more homegrown. You've got Tusake Susi in the box right now from high-level Alberta. Grand Canyon especially just stacked with players from the state of hockey, as it's called. Zahalka takes a shot, save made the first of the period by Carlson. GCU stays with it. Here's Zooks. Zooks puts one on and it is sent aside. Zooks with 2 goals in that first period. The penalty is over for Montana State. Janae Zooks with goals 20 and 21 on the year for her. One of them came on the power play. Hui is in. The pass to Johnson. Couldn't connect. Taken up and out. Just kidding. It's sent right back down by Grand Canyon. Fighting for the puck, number 4 for Montana State is going to come away with it. Putting on a little bit of a reverse hit. Now here's Morissette. Morissette lost the puck in her own zone. Montana State struggling to get out of here. 2 minutes have gone by in the second period approximately. Larson fresh on the ice. Grand Canyon got a full change off with the puck still in the offensive end. Here's Sorensen. Sorensen passing in front, stopped there, picked up her own rebound. Now she backhands it wide of the net. Back the other way, finally out is Nicola Roberts and Montana State. But that puck came across too early. They're offsides. They get a full change to the Bobcats. Schleining for Sorensen. Sorensen's the cross. On her is Tarn, putting it in front of the net. No one home. And now Zoe Smith has got some room to work with on the right wing. Zoe Smith blocked. Tarn kept it in. Smith fighting the corner up to Tarn. Shot put on, never got to the net. Now puck is loose. Rebound went off the pad of Annika Olsen. Flipped up and out by Larson for icing. No, it's waved off. Winning the race is Haley Gray. Gray, she shoots, and the knuckle puck is calmed down by Emma Olsen. The Utah Utes, I don't see any of their players here watching on this game, but maybe they're watching the live stream. You got to think they must be sweating a little bit. If Montana State gets shut out like they have been so far in this game, it is Grand Canyon. They need the Bobcats to score some goals here, at least 2. That shot got through, and then making the save with the body is Carlson. Now shot, score! Abigail Brigg. It was only a matter of time before she found the back of the net. 3-up, Grand Canyon.
What a play by Abigail Brigg, sneaking it right past that net of Emma Carlson. She's let 3 go so far. Not even 4 minutes gone by in this second period, and Grand Canyon already with a commanding 3-0 lead.
Here is Volman now. Volman over the blue line. It is actually Haley Gray. I apologize. Haley Gray scored the goal, not Abigail Brigg. I realized that when she was in the handshake line, that it said 10 on the back of her jersey. It looked like a 17. To be fair, the purple numbers on a black jersey, it is tough sometimes to tell from all the way up here.
Interesting color scheme, certainly.
I do like the purple and black. I'd love to see a purple jersey from Grand Canyon. The black is nice, a little stealth mode, but that purple is a very nice shade. And Montana State has got some nice uniforms themselves. Big fan of the mountain pattern they got going on. We get a whistle blown dead. It was played with a high stick. Haley Gray, that is number 12 on the year for her. That first line just keeps on rolling. They've got all 3 goals in this one for the Bobcats. Shots are 11-3. Them running up the score is also important, because if Montana State gets a goal, then Grand Canyon has to win by 4 or more. So GCU right now, they're in a good position. Here's Lawrence, unable to get it out. Fresh onto the ice is Armin. She was not able to get that shot off, thrown off of the puck by the defense of the Bobcats. The other way, it's McKenney. Over the blue line, just on sides. Then the puck dribbled on her and she lost it. Schleining raced after that puck along with Lawrence. They go hard into the boards, and we are going to get a whistle for a penalty. A rough is called. Looks like it is going to be on Grand Canyon. It is Brooklyn Larson guilty. So an excellent chance here for Montana State to put one on the board. For Utah's sake, they need it. The Bobcats are 11.6% on the power play. And then the Lopes are not great when they're down a man, only 84.1%. Still win the vast majority, but as far as the field goes in terms of their kill percentages, that is by far the lowest, by a good 10% or so. 30 seconds have already gone off the clock in the Larson penalty. Through the legs of Schacht, it stays with Grand Canyon. They clear, goes up the skate of Cheney. And now in their own zone, Chisake Susi up ahead, intercepted by Ramsey. Ramsey hooked a little bit, and I think Aziana Schacht got away with one there. Icing on Montana State, a sloppy power play right now going on for the Bobcats.
The Bobcats go up, get a man advantage. They have not been able to capitalize so far as this draw is back in their own zone.
Snyder to take the draw on the power play. She wins it, but the first to the puck is Armit. Now a shot from Bonello. Save made. Rebound is loose. Covered up by Carlson. Now it's Grand Canyon getting the best offensive looks of the power play, or the penalty kill. It is for them. Montana State is up a man, but GCU is still dictating play.
My goodness, I mean, the Antelopes just not backing down, and they'll have another chance in their offensive end.
Montana State is looking to clear right now. Now they do. Hot after that puck. Number 4. 2-on-1 for Montana State. Shot over the net. Taken out by Grand Canyon. One of the best chances of the day for Montana State. Armit backhands it down. She's going to head off for a change. 30 seconds to go. Looking for a last chance for the Bobcats. First, they got to get it out of their own zone. Not even a very suffocating forecheck from Grand Canyon. Montana State just has no rhythm right now. In the neutral zone, losing the puck again is Montana State. And it looks like that is going to do it for the power play. Not a lot happening. No shots on net technically for the Bobcats. Here comes number 4 into the slot. Lost it. Now blast from the point. Just goes wide of the net. There for Miller. Sent far up ahead. That is going to be icing on the Antelopes. We'll head back down for a face-off in front of Annika Olsen. 13-11 to go as we are getting close to the halfway point in this hockey game. At stake, the final spot in the WWCHL Championship, where the winner will be booking their plane tickets to St. Louis. That shot missed, but the rebound heads to the Bobcats. A pass looking to get in front of the crease ended up below the net. Grand Canyon is unable to clear thanks to the forecheck of Morissette. Finally up and out. Morissette corrals. GCU getting the change. Montana State ready to break out. That's not going to do it. Zahalka kept it in. O'Hara throws it around. Now teams up with Faith Hobbs. Stopped right at the blue line, but it just came across. So it is offsides on the Antelopes. Shots right now 13-3 in favor of the Lopes. Taking it to Montana State right now, pouring it on. The score is 3-0. Like we've been saying, that bagel that it shows on the score bug in the top left is a very important one. Grand Canyon is into the championship with a shutout victory. Couple of skates bouncing around with that puck. Here's Brigg with it, pounding it in really tight on the crease. Still loose. No whistle yet. Now Emma Carlson is finally going to get one.
Carlson desperately trying to find that puck and cover it up. That whistle arguably was incredibly late, as it looked like she had control and with her glove. Nonetheless, another draw coming in the Lopes offensive end. They'll take it.
Brigg in the corner. Staying with that puck. Zooks in the circle, 2 goals tonight. Now another one just goes over the net. Brigg, backhand pass for Zooks, never got to her. Kept in the line by Ramsey. Back down to the Lopes' best player. And then she was thrown off that puck by Peyton Miller. Still in for Grand Canyon. We get a whistle. And we have got an update on Colorado men's D2 hockey. Quinn from the penalty box. Let's send it down.
Thank you guys. Taking us away from the WWCHL playoffs and the ACHA Men's Division II playoffs, the Colorado Buffaloes have unfortunately fell into Weber State in a 2-1 final in Salt Lake City. A tough game for the Buffs, but they'll look to come back home and start a new season. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Quinn. A rough outcome, went toe-to-toe. Weber State were unable to punch their ticket to Nationals, is the D2 team, but still one incredible year for the D2 squad.
Absolutely, Paxton. I mean, that squad fought long and hard. Were the regular season BMHC champions. They won the BMHC tournament to make it to regionals in Salt Lake, but fell short against one of the top teams in the country. Overall, solid performance from this squad, and I couldn't be prouder.
That shot is stopped by Carlson and flushed out by Montana State. It's not going to be icing. Rolled around. Sorensen's got it. Multiple bodies in the way. Montana State, the pass across. Gallagher wasn't there in time to put a shot off. Now Cheney from the point lets it rip. Never got to the net. Chisake Susi couldn't keep the puck inside. Now here's Sorensen racing after it the other way. Sorensen picks it up in the corner. Now a shot from Larson, fought off. Gallagher throws it into the screen. And a whistle will come out as we have hit the halfway point of this hockey game. Grand Canyon leads 3-0. They are into the WWCHL Championship with a shutout. They are allowed to give up 1 goal. If they do so, they must win by 4. And they are not allowed to give up 2. If they let 2 in the back of the net from Montana State, it is the Utah Utes who will meet Colorado tomorrow morning. Should be a very fun day of hockey with the men's gold medal match, of course, over in Milan. That game is at 6 a.m. puck drop mountain time as a couple of knees collide with each other. Looks like Haley Gray is headed to the box for GCU.
Another power play opportunity coming for the Bobcats as Nicola Roberts went down, and
it's actually going to be Kelsey Bonello.
Oh, yep, Kelsey Bonello heading to the box for the Lopes. That trip right near our bench, or excuse me, our broadcast table, as Nicola Roberts went down, and so Kelsey Bonello will serve.
The first power play was pretty bland, if not downright terrible for Montana State, and that is not a good way to start. Brigg has got the puck behind the net, wraparound try, no good, rebound, thrown aside by Carlson. Now it's loose, Ramsey's there at the drive, save made, just fought off by Carlson. GCU has 2 shots on goal on the penalty kill already in this one. 30 seconds have gone by. Montana State has got to find some form of rhythm offensively. They're up a man. They just got nothing right now. Here's Shocked over the blue line, trying to make a move, didn't bring the puck with her. Now a shot blocked in front. And Armit was there eating a couple of pucks on the shots from Maren Snyder. Thrown all the way around. Armit couldn't keep it in to the offensive zone. Brigg is offside. She heads to the bench. Saucer pass for Cheney. Here comes the Bobcats on the power play. They need a goal pretty bad. Back down to Cheney. Cheney looking for a pass. Reading for number 4, back to Cheney. Cheney on the blue line. Now Chisake Susi lets it go, deflected in front, and it went wide. Number 4 from the corner. Holds. Now pass up top will split the defenders and roll all the way into Montana State's zone. 0 for 2 on the day are the Montana State Bobcats. Here comes number 4, in, shot, save made, rebound loose. Out of the box is Bonello. And now Zooks. Look out, it's Janae Zooks. She already has 2 today, but good defense there from Cheney. Grabbing it, number 4. Just loose in the neutral zone. Under 7 minutes to go in this second period. Zooks to Huey. In hard on the back check was Faith Hobbs. Montana State is able to clear just barely. Now Tarn threw it into the body of Johnson. Now Johnson's got some room on the right wing. Johnson lets it go. No problem. Rebound, though. Carlson had to fight off and make the save. Now the wraparound try. Chisake Susi doesn't have her stick. Volman across, shot just wide. Out of position is Carlson. Now looking to cover that puck. It kicks out free from her. We keep playing on. Everyone back in position now. Now a shot off the side of the cage. Another try, that time from Haley Gray. And finally a whistle for Emma Carlson. GCU just continuing to find moments offensively in front of the net.
Absolutely. I mean, they just are continuing to apply that pressure on Emma Carlson. She has not been able to rest 1 minute this period. Spent on that power play. Bobcats looked like they had a couple of chances to generate some goals, but just could not come away. And we're inside 6 to go now in the second.
Volman put one on. Now it's Sahalka trying to split defenders. She got the puck onto her stick and then sent it wide. Haley Gray throwing the puck in the corner. Sahalka keeps it in. Montana State finally able to clear, but that is going to be icing unless it can be on net. It is not. So those tired Bobcats will have to stay on the ice.
Just for this Bobcats team, thought that their night couldn't get much worse. The icing call forces this tired line to stay out.
MSU is gassed right now. Isabel Zavitz had to stop at the bench for a breather before coming down for the face-off. Finally, they're able to flush it enough so they can get at least a partial change. McKenney grabs it, makes a cross-ice pass. It missed shock, so the puck stays in the zone. Now flushed out by McKenney. Cheney's there for it. Cheney makes a spin move, trying to find some room for herself. Up and out. Grace Cheney with 5 goals on the year, 12 total points. One of the most crucial pieces of this Montana State team. She's had the puck on her stick for a lot of the time that the Bobcats have had possession. Pass in front, went behind Zooks. Brigg is there to pick it up. Brigg lost it. And here comes Aaron Gallagher, still not taken out by Montana State. Now it's shocked. Who's across? On net for Annika Olsen, and in hard, crashing the net. Was Aviana shocked because Olsen was taking her time to cover it up, let her touch her stick first, and that permitted the Bobcats to crash the net, and then a little bit of a collision there. 4:11 to go here in the second period. It's 3-0 Grand Canyon. As it stands right now, the Lopes are in the WWCHL playoff, or conference final, I should say, if this current score holds, but still so much hockey to play a full period, in fact. Under 4 minutes to go here in this second period. Free is Cricky. Pinned up in the corner. Flushed out by Nicola Roberts, but it went in the bench. No, we're gonna get a whistle regardless. played by a high stick, maybe. After this weekend of hockey, that'll do it for our broadcasts on Scope of Sports. We thank everyone for tuning in who caught any game, whether it be Buffs fans at home or Antelopes and Bobcats fan tuning in to the neutral broadcast here. Thank you to everyone who stopped by. We've got baseball and lacrosse coming up after hockey season. Exciting year and spring. It starts March 6th. Lacrosse season does, live here on Skill Buff Sports when the CU Buffs play Arizona State. The Buffalo's club lacrosse team looking really good.
Absolutely, Paxton. Students around campus are arguing that this might be the year for a national championship for this men's lax team. They are looking scary to start this season.
They were ranked in the top 10 in the preseason. That puck rolls all the way down for icing on Grand Canyon. Up in the top left corner of the rink in that window is the CU women's team. It looks like Kieran Sullivan, Izzy Mitchell, Abby Piatagorski, and Coach Olivia Wilburn from my eyesight back here. Of course, an incredible win for them to claim their spot in the WWCHL championship game. You can support our streams at SBS_CU on Venmo. It would go towards a stream deck, which would greatly appreciate. The production value would be doubled. Just imagine the potential of these streams. Shout out to our producer, Nick Evans, who brings you the incredible graphics. That scoreboard you're seeing in your top left corner, all the work of him. All Kieran and I do just talk about the game.
Exactly.
Bringing you the game is Nick Evans. And of course, Jackie Rivera, our most dedicated cameraman of the entire season. A big thank you to Jackie. Who is behind the camera right now, bringing you the incredible shots all weekend long. And of course, Quinn Kreck, who is technically not, I guess he is kind of half a part of our crew today. He ended up getting a job working the penalty box here on this late Saturday night. Everyone here who came by, Aiden Glockner, of course, called his and produced his final game in his senior season in the Rocky Mountain Face-Off. A great send-off for Aiden, with the CU men's D1 team getting a 5-1 victory over the Colorado State Rams from Fort Collins.
That was an incredible weekend for Colorado, outscoring the Rams 8-1 on the weekend, and shutting out CSU on their senior night in Fort Collins, and then coming back home to Boulder, making a statement, only allowing one goal the entire weekend, and it came earlier today. That was an incredible game to call alongside Aiden. I only got to call games with him for 1 year.
Just over the net go the Bobcats, their best chance to get one in all game long. And yeah, Kieran, like you're saying, the CU men's D1 team really turned it around late in the season. 4 consecutive wins to finish off the year. It was a little too late for them. They're going to miss playoffs, but a great finish for them, especially for the seniors, finishing strong, getting 2 wins over their bitter in-state rivals. And a bit of a sweet taste in the mouth of CU hockey fans on what was a overall unsuccessful regular season for the D1 team. Ended happily.
Absolutely. I couldn't have asked for a better end to the season, despite it not producing any hopes for making it past the regular season. But nonetheless, Buffs fans were incredibly satisfied with their team these past several weeks, for sure.
First line will be on the ice for the Montana State Bobcats in the offensive zone. They've got 48 seconds to work with here in the second period. They need goals. Utah knows. Ziembicki Lewis is trying to flush the puck out. Now it's pinned up by the half wall. Not taken out, just barely kept in at the blue line by Grand Canyon. And now Montana State is able to clear. Here comes number 4 with some speed. She lets her rip. Good stick in front by Grand Canyon. The rebound kicked out to the left of Olsen. But the Lopes are able to evade. Montana State gets the puck back. Roberts throws it on and missed the target. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and that is going to do it for the second period here in Boulder. Grand Canyon is cruising. They're up 3-0.
My goodness, what a game for the Antelopes so far, shutting out this Bobcats team. They're trying to keep up best that they can, but Montana State, GCU continuing to shut them down, especially on those 2 power play chances this period. They had some chances, but those shorthanded opportunities for GCU just rivaled them, and this Montana State team just could not keep up.
Thorough dictation of play by the Antelopes. As it stands right now, the Lopes are in a good position. If they shut out the Bobcats, they are in to the WWCHL championship. They're allowed to give up 1 goal. If they do that, they must win by 4. If they give up 2, it is Utah into the final. After 2 periods of play, it is 3-0 Grand Canyon. We will take a moment, get the ice cleaned up, and come back at you for the final 20 here in pool play of the playoffs on Go Buff Sports.
Be a really good place
For Go Buffs.
to go. This is our last chance to really leave.
Was able to walk away 1-0 against Cornell.
The Buffs will look to follow up that performance against 1-3 Towson tomorrow. The Tigers are led by Katie Roscoe and Hannah Lewis's 8 goals each. CU's defense, led by Big 12 Defender of the Week Jess Peluso, has found success winning ground balls and forcing turnovers so far this season. Big 12 goalkeeper of the week Elena O has had an easy time in net in the young season, only having to make 13 saves in their home opener against Cornell. First draw from Kitty Field is set for noon tomorrow.
After Saturday's game, the bus will hit the road and hit to Stony Brook, New York, to play the Stony Brook Seawolves. Colorado will look to stay undefeated on the road against 1-0 Stony Brook team that is just getting their season started. In the matchup last season, CU held on 1-goal lead at home against a fourth quarter comeback attempt by the Seawolves for a 7-6 win. The Buffs will try to win their first game at Luval Stadium in program history on Thursday, February 26 at 4 p.m. Mountain Time.
Guess what? It's time for the WWCHL playoffs. The Buffaloes have made the postseason and will host the tournament this weekend. CU plays the Grand Canyon Antelopes shortly after the show at 4:30, and the Utah Utes on Saturday at 4:30. The championship will be on Sunday at 11 a.m., where the winner will punch its ticket to Nationals in St. Louis. Paxton Haynes sat down with two Buffs at practice on Wednesday to hear their thoughts on the upcoming playoff run.
The Colorado Buffaloes women's hockey team has returned to the playoffs in the Women's Western Collegiate Hockey League, and this playoff run means a little more for assistant captain Natalie Ewald and club president Brianna Ahrens.
This is my last year, and this is time for redemption. We've made it to playoffs 3 times now and have yet to win, so this is our chance, and I know we have 11 seniors this year, and we're all really pumped up, fired up, ready to go. This is our last chance to really leave knowing that you achieved something, and we've worked so hard for so long. It would be really rewarding to see a true payout for that and to win this weekend.
The Buffaloes are headlined offensively by Ewald and junior forward Mia Fischelli, nicknamed the Dynamic Duo. Along with Anna Masiello, the first line has combined for 46 goals and 88 total points this season.
We've been playing together for a while now, especially me and Mia. This is our 3rd year playing together. So I feel like we kind of just read, I know exactly how she plays, she knows how I play. So it's really easy for us to bounce off of each other. And Masiello came onto our line this year, and I just think, our line has really good vibes. We're never in arguments. We're always just happy to be there. And I think we play the best when we're all having fun.
This season, the Buffs have something that separates them from past teams: chemistry.
This year especially, our chemistry that we have going on is really good. I think this is the best that I've seen it in my 4 years here. And I think that's something you can't really fix, if it's not there, it's not there. And it shows on the ice, when we're down a goal and we need to get up and we're supporting each other and not getting down on ourselves, because that you have your teammates behind your back, uplifting you and stuff. It's really important.
Colorado will play Utah and Grand Canyon before the conference championship on February 22nd, where the winner will punch their ticket to Nationals in St. Louis.
All 4 teams in playoffs are going to be really good. It's going to be really tough matches, but I'm excited. It's a bit nerve-wracking because it's kind of like do or die a little, but I have a good feeling, and I think we've been pretty locked in today, and we got the rest of the week to prepare, but I'm pretty pumped.
We just got to go. We play our best hockey when we're having fun, and you can tell we're all dancing on the ice and stuff. The music is playing. We have our dance team in the stands.
Yeah.
When the vibes are good and the energy is good, we play really well. So as long as we can keep that going and not get down on ourselves, I think we'll be in a really good place.
For SCO Buff Sports, I'm Paxton Haynes.
The battle for tickets to Nationals in St. Louis begins this weekend as the men's Division II team plays in the ACHA West Regionals Tournament. CU comes into the tournament ranked 7th in the West after a BMHC championship win on February 8th. Eyeing a second round 2 match, the Buffs face off against Northern Arizona University tonight at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. In the regular season, NAU defeated Colorado 5-4 in its only game that ended in overtime. The Buffs will look to a Conference Player of the Year forward Brick Fisher and second-team All-Conference goaltender Caleb Allen to guide them to Nationals.
For its final series of the season, men's D1 hockey takes on the Colorado State Rams in the Rocky Mountain Face-Off this weekend. The Buffs currently hold an edge over the Rams in the season series, leading 2-1. This weekend's series will be split, with tonight's in Fort Collins at 7:15 and tomorrow's here at the Rec Center Ice Rink at noon. It'll be the last men's home game of the year, so make sure to show out, Buffs fans. If you can't make it, Saturday's game will be streamed live right here on ScoBuff Sports.
We are now just several days away from spring practice starting up for the football team with a brand new offensive system heading into fall. We had Leo Rivera and Oliver Hayes break down their expectations for a new look Buffaloes as we get closer to the spring game.
Welcome to this week's edition of Buff Banner. I'm your host, Oliver Hayes, alongside my co-host, Leopoldo Rivera IV. In Colorado football, they are playing their spring game in a few short weeks from now. Leo, the big man coming in, Brendan Marion, the new offensive coordinator, known as the go-go guy. You have been super fascinated with this offense. Can you break it down for us so that me, but Colorado fans included, can understand what we can expect to see when Colorado takes the field during that spring game?
Yeah, that's a big question, Oliver, and obviously practices are going to start ramping up here shortly. That's going to be the big thing. But what to expect from the go-go offense, first and foremost, it's going to be that two back to the off side of the quarterback, or a sidecar position, as Brandon Marion calls it. There's going to be two running backs in the backfield. They're going to be both on the same side. That is something that this Colorado offense has not seen before, and it's also something a lot of offenses don't practice because, like you mentioned, Brendan Marion is creator of this. So what does that mean? It means there's going to be a lot of run-heavy plays. Brendan Marion's coming with the duo. He's coming with the ISO, working a lot of double teams on that first front line of defenders, and that's really what Colorado is going to work on, is building that run game first, and from that point on, then you're going to open up the path to the RPOs and all the different passing games downfield.
That's a lot of stuff. But to focus on something specific, because that was a lot of things that you talked about, maybe a lot even for a football fan to try and grasp with how different this offense is, like you talked about with the halfbacks on one side of the quarterback. But focusing on the run-pass option, the RPO, we saw a little bit of this the last season with Colorado and Kane Salter, Juju Lewis, whenever Ryan Staub got him. We saw a little bit of that. But with this offense, the go-go offense, it seems like the RPO is a lot more prevalent. How does the go-go offense utilize the RPO and make it different, not only from Colorado's offense last year, but from other offenses in general?
Definitely. Colorado's going to be built on this triple option system, Oliver, where the run's always going to be on no matter what to be able to give that. But Julian Lewis is going to have the option to pull, which becomes that second option. And then from there, the third is the pass. And what makes this offense different from the ones that have been at Colorado the last few years is that it's tackling vertical downfield. Previously, Colorado relied on using bubbles and, very short passing games in the RPO to rely on blocking and creating explosive plays. This offense is going to create the explosive plays by design and push the ball downfield with the receivers running, more vertical routes that are going to come off the running game.
So with all those options, Colorado, they have some returners. Juju Lewis, he's the man that stands out on offense, of course. But who else do you think can stand out in this go-go offense where Marion has talked a decent amount about how any player can thrive in this type of offense?
Yeah, there's a lot of running backs. First, you got Michael Welch, returner for the Colorado Buffaloes, to Kalen Taylor. With his passing abilities, that's going to be a big one. I think seeing him in this offense in the spring is going to be vital. He's one of the big guys I'm looking at. Obviously, you have the guys coming over from Sacramento State as well, Damian Henderson IV being one of those. But on the receiving end, you have Danny Scudero, who led all of college football in receiving. He's a small guy in the slot, but Brandon Marion knows how to use those small guys. If you look back at his tenure, he's used players of all different sizes in the offense. He's going to find a place for all the different body types on the Colorado's offense and make sure they're volatile come spring game and then moving forward.
And that name you brought up, Kalen Taylor, after missing him the last part of the season with the injury, I'm excited to see Trackhawk back on the field and using that speed in this new offense. But I think that's all for this week's edition of Buff Banner. My name is Oliver Hayes alongside Leopoldo Rivera IV. Thank you guys for watching.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Skull Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
The club baseball team went 3-1 in their season opening tournament last weekend in Dallas. The Buffs captured wins against North Texas, Baylor, and the Texas Longhorns with 3 positive pitching performances. In their one loss to Oklahoma, the Buffs still scored 13 runs but allowed 17 in an outlier game. Sophomore catcher Charlie Lesh tallied 3 hits to take home the Mid-America West Player of the Week award, and senior president Nathan Hoffman won Pitcher of the Week after throwing 6 scoreless innings. Following the successful weekend, Colorado got attention in the NCBA Top 20 poll, being the second team with the second most votes without a ranking. CU gets a few weeks off before beginning its season's full swing against Utah on March 7th.
Good evening from snowy Boulder, Colorado. I'm Trip Malden, here to bring you your Olympic recap. Starting us off for the week, we have Ryder Sarchet, who competed in the giant slalom event, finishing 25th overall. The former Buffalo Joanne Reed finished 72nd overall in the women's 7.5K sprint biathlon. Alvar Alev finished strong in the men's 10K final, finishing 28th overall. Hugo Hickenfuss also competed and finished 66th. Sve Irving advanced to the halfpipe final, finishing 8th overall, and was one of only 2 Americans to qualify. Cassidy Gray started the women's giant slalom, but sadly crashed in the first run and did not finish. The women's hockey team made a stunning comeback against Canada after a goal early in the second period left the U.S. trailing all game. A late goal in the third by
In 20 minutes of game time, we will know who will be playing in the WWCHL Championship. The Grand Canyon Antelopes are up 3-0 right now on Montana State. It's been a pretty solid and thorough control of play by Grand Canyon. 3-up on Montana State. So, Kieran, let's do it one more time for good measure. Grand Canyon, they're up 3-0. If they let up no goals, if they win this game and shut out Montana State, they are automatically in to the WWCHL Championship. They are allowed to give up 1 goal. If they give that 1 goal, it means they must win by 4 or more. They cannot give up 2 goals, or that would mean that Utah is automatically in to the championship regardless of the outcome of this game. So, you look at how this game is you look at how this game is panning out. Utah kind of just needs 1 goal from Montana State and they're in, because if so, that would mean that the goal differential would result in favor of Utah in terms of that tiebreaker. So Montana State, Utah is just begging Montana State to find the back of the net.
Absolutely. I mean, their fate is in the hands of this Bobcats team, who just broke the huddle, and GCU out quickly to center ice for this draw to start off this third period of action. And they are on track to pitch a shutout here. We shall see what happens.
Annika Olsen has stood tall all evening long. The defensive front in front of her has been incredible. Only 5 shots on net do the Bobcats have through 2 periods. They have got to find a way to find some form of identity. Offensively, a shot is put on the first of the period. It comes from Grace Cheney, and it is gobbled up by Annika Olsen. We had the conference trophy on display between the benches earlier in that Colorado-Utah game, only for about half a period though, but it is a beauty. Both these teams really want it. Grand Canyon, the defending champions, They found their way into nationals. Didn't last very long in St. Louis, unfortunately, but still an incredible season for them. Looking to follow it up and make it back-to-back. First, they got to win this game, do so a certain way, and then face off against Colorado, who beat them in overtime on night one. Here is Zooks. Zooks in tight. She shoots. Save made by Carlson. Janae Zooks looking for the hat trick. Getting a little tripped up there was Huey, and she took exception to it. No call on the trip, as all weekend long we've seen the officiating crew choose to let them play on and give the benefit of the doubt to the players. That one thrown up into the air, thrown down by the hand of Chisake Susi. And now a shot for number 4, glove down. Excellent chance there by number 4 on Montana State. 2 shots on net already for the Bobcats here in this period. Faceoff is won by Grand Canyon. Here comes Sorensen. Out the other way with Armit in a little bit of a 2-on-2. Armit's across, but waited to bring it over. Therefore, it is offside. Sorensen was prematurely into the zone.
I gotta be honest here, Pax. In full transparency for viewers at home, it is cold in this rink. Normally it doesn't really bother me, but it's the instant I step back into this rink after that second intermission, it sends a chill up my spine. And if you've been in this rink before, you know that this is one of the coldest rinks in the ACHA.
Absolutely, this place gets frigid. Kieran, of course, he was calling the Rocky Mountain face-off this morning, or this afternoon rather, so he is rather dapper, wearing a full shirt and jacket.
Yep, I have Under Armour, a dress shirt, and a suit on, so had to give myself some layering, and it's helped most of the day. But now, as we get into the later hours of the evening, it's starting to get a little brisk.
Yeah, and I'm going to join you tomorrow. As score! Grand Canyon once again. Janae Zooks at the hat trick.
Call a ballerina, start throwing those hats on the ice. You can't really do it because there's a netting that surrounds the entire rink here, but what a night for Janae Zooks. A hat trick brings GCU up by 4.
The center having a career night, now with 22 goals on the year, the most on the team. And Grand Canyon wasting no time, getting right back in. Guess who? It's Janae Zooks. She got stripped of the puck. And that is an important goal, because now if Grand Canyon scores another, that means Montana State has to score 2 if Utah wants to make the championship game. Still, as it stands right now, it is Grand Canyon in that spot. If that 0 holds on the scoreboard. Schleining kept the puck in. Still pinned up along the boards, thrown down. Hard there by Faith Hobbs. Or excuse me, that was Ellie Aldrich. Ellie Aldrich got her first goal of the season last night in one of the 2 that Montana State scored against Utah. Ramsey put it through, and no one was there to collect it. Across is Johnson, but not before the Antelopes tagged up. They're offsides. Now the sounds like rave remixes going on overhead. Been a night of a very poppy night of the in-stadium entertainment between whistles.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been bopping up here all night, as has Paxton. I mean, I will say I was much more excited during that Colorado game, especially since I had more energy. But we're We're doing our best to stay awake here for this game. Lots on the line. As we approach the 4-minute mark gone by here in this period.
Puck just bouncing around right now in Grand Canyon's end. Finally calmed down by Armit. And then she lost the puck to Chisake Susi. Or excuse me, it was Gallagher.
It looks like the Bobcats trying to generate opportunities here, but the Antelopes defense standing on top of business, shutting them down. But they'll get an icing that'll bring it back to their zone.
Montana State, this has been their best, even though we're only less than 5 minutes in, this has been their best period so far in this game offensively, getting some really good looks at the net. Already 3 shots on goal. Trying to see if they can find Twine before they call it a tournament. That is just kept in, barely, by the Bobcats.
That was very close. Looked like it may have just crossed the blue line a little bit, but they're going to call that in.
Glove down by Johnson. The forecheck of the Antelopes can't keep it in, but it is icing again on GCU. We'll see if they force Armit back out onto the ice. I think they are. So the dead tired Sophie Armit is going to have to join the rest of her team. The Lopes have been out there for quite a while. First line stays out for Montana State. Winning the faceoff, a shot deflection, never got to the net. It went wide. Roberts putting on a hit. Fighting hard against 2 Lopes for that puck, but her effort is not able to be successful. 15 minutes to go in this game. Grand Canyon's got a 4-0 lead. And right now, as it stands, a spot in the championship game. That goes all the way down. Hewitt slaps it up and out of the zone. Down on the far side, Zook's there first. Good speed from Zook. She shoots, pass save made. Gray lets it rip, and it goes up and over the net and will roll all the way down to the other end. Volman backhands it to the neutral zone. Racing after is Haley Gray. She's going to be the first one to be there. Looking for a wraparound, put it in front of the net. Shot score! Kelsey Bonello, 5 up for Grand Canyon, the defenseman, getting active on the score sheet. And a very, very important goal for Grand Canyon.
5-0 Antelopes after that rifle from Kelsey Bonello. My goodness.
And
utter domination continues for GCU.
Things are not looking good for the Utah Utes right now. The Montana State Bobcats now must score 2 goals in order to knock out Grand Canyon and send the Utes into the championship game. The Bobcats only have 8 shots on net over the course of the entire match. But for the Utes' sake, they need 2 goals. Grand Canyon's sitting pretty right now. They just got to hold on here for another 14 minutes. They're allowed to let one in.
Emma Carlson really standing on business here despite letting that 1 goal pass. She's been able to swallow up some of these shots as GCU continues to apply that pressure in this period.
Larson in to take the face-off up against Snyder. Referee taking a second to drop the puck. Now it's down and it's won by Montana State. But Sorensen went and grabbed it. Sorensen circling around with her back to the net, trying to find some room for herself. Montana State all over her, and they got the puck off. The Hulker couldn't keep it in. Now it's a foot race. Doesn't matter anyway. The puck is on net. Blast from the point. Patted aside. by the right circle. A puck battle. Won by Montana State, and then thrown in to the netting by Courtney Briggs.
Draw coming back to the Antelope zone. Huge chance for the Bobcats to set up a shot.
Out in the neutral zone. Here is Briggs. He just dumps it so she can get a change. Here's Schock. Schock lost the puck in the neutral zone and then got picked up by Snyder. Snyder, shot! Goal! Montana State, finally, the Utah Utes have life. Maren Snyder, number 11 on the year for her.
You can forget the shutout, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, what a play by Snyder. Restoring hope for this Bobcats team, giving the Antelopes a run for their money. They are not out of the water yet.
All right, so here we go. 12:45 left to go in this one. The stakes have gotten very, very simple. Montana State scores another, Utah's in. Grand Canyon holds on and keeps them out of the net. Grand Canyon is in. It would be a serious comeback for Montana State to actually win this game. In that case, of course, it is not going to be Grand Canyon. It's not going to be Montana State either because they were mathematically eliminated coming into this one. So, as you can see on the bottom of your screen, Utah clinches championship berth with one MSU goal. That is all it takes. Otherwise, it's the Lopes. This game suddenly just got very interesting. What was once a 4-0 blowout suddenly has serious implications. Doesn't matter how many more points GCU puts up on the board. If MSU scores another, the goals against tiebreaker goes in favor of Utah.
Looks like the Antelopes getting tired here, and as we approach the final 12 minutes of this third period, another icing call will bring it back to their zone. Another chance for the Bobcats. This game is far from over.
Things just got really intense, Kieran. That Montana State goal, a big, big one in terms of the grand scheme of the entire WWCHL. Really, could you imagine telling Utah at the beginning of the season that in the playoffs, their fate lies in the hands of Montana State scoring a singular goal on Grand Canyon, a game they're not even a part of. Into the zone it goes. On the forecheck is Zoe Smith, but GCU is able to clear. Goes right back in off the pads of Olsen. Zahalka backhands it for Bonello up to Sorensen. Sorensen makes a nice move with Huey to her right. Huey racing after that puck, goes up the side of the cage, and then Huey lost it. It goes to Cheney. Cheney to Hobbs. Hobbs into the neutral zone. But offsides are the Bobcats. Still offsides. Hobbs did not tag up. The other way, Zahalka. She shoots. 6 save made. 10:40 to go in this one. Schleining's got it. And then she got intercepted of the puck. With some help, though, is Larson and company. Kept in Chisake Susi, but only for the moment. Back the other way is Grand Canyon. Shot, save made, just fought off by the blocker. Schleining forcing it to stay in. Now Johnson with the puck. Johnson shoots. Kick save made. O'Hara grabs it. Comes out of the zone. Both these teams looking a little gassed right now. It is 2 games in 2 days. And for Colorado And the potential winner of this one is going to be 3 games in 3 days. When that third period comes of the championship, it's going to come down to 2 things, conditioning and just who wants it more. Zooks, a hat trick on the night, passes it to Gray. Gray looking, cross ice to Ramsey. Ramsey backhand in front of the net, and it just went behind McCarthy. 9:20 to go. Montana State needs a goal for Utah's sake. GCU just needs to hold on to this outcome. At the blue line, got a little tied up. And GCU's offsides. Offensively, a very, very big change, night and day really offensively for Montana State from the first 2 periods, and now in this one they found the back of the net, doubled their shots on goal, and are now making GCU sweat. Not sure if the Grand Canyon players know the stakes here, know that they cannot let up another goal. It took us in the booth quite a while to figure out all the tiebreakers and the clinching scenarios ourselves. Here's Roberts. Excuse me. Roberts puts one on and kind of into the net. Was Annika Olsen. Luckily for her, that puck didn't cross the line, or at least you don't think so.
We're at 8:30 to go here in period number 3, and the Bobcats still down by 4, looking to make things interesting for the Antelopes as they'll get another draw in their offensive end.
Sorensen got around Roberts. And now it goes to Morissette, 8:30 to go. Here's Sorensen. Sorensen shot, save made by Carlson.
Come to think of it, I don't think that clock moved here in the rink, Paxton. I mean, 10 seconds or so ticked off. That was at 8:30 when we started. Looks like the officials have not noticed yet.
Our producer, Nick Evans, has the clock at 8:08 on our score bug. In the stadium, it is still 8.5. Shots gone! Jenna Sorensen. GCU just continues to pour it on. They're up 6-1.
What a goal for GCU. This lead is back up to 5. It's 6-1 Antelopes.
They make it a 5-goal game. Gray is in hard now. She shoots, it goes over the net. Or excuse me, that was Hugh who took the shot. That goal technically does not matter because Grand Canyon is going to win this game. But because Grand Canyon took more penalties than Utah did, it means that Utah wins that tiebreaker. So if the goal differential is tied, Utah wins it, and Grand Canyon already has the goal differential tiebreaker 1. It's going to come down to goals against. If Montana State scores another shot, save made by Carlson. If Montana State scores another, it's Utah. If GCU doesn't allow it, it's the Lopes. 7:40 is on the clock in the scoreboard. The clocks are not synced up from the scoreboard in the arena to what we have here on the broadcast. They're only about a second or 2 off. We're not quite that big league yet to have them synced up.
Yeah, we need a LAN cable to be able to do that. These scoreboards are new enough to the point where I think that controller down there does have a LAN cable, but we don't have that capability on OBS yet.
It does the job having our great producer Nick Evans take care of the clock. Schleining Shot goes wide. Taryn there to get the rebound out for Montana State. Now here they come into neutral zone. It's Aldrich. Over the blue line, got 2 Lopes on her. And that puts a hard hit. We're going to get a penalty coming up. I believe it is going to be on Aldrich. It is cross-checking. GCU's headed to the kill. Or excuse me, GCU's headed to the power play.
Another chance for the Antelopes to capitalize again and extend this lead to 6, which would be their biggest of the night. Some more great tunes here in the rink.
Under 7 to go in this one. For Utah's sake, they need Montana State to kill this penalty, and then they'll have about 5 minutes to work with. Face-off is won by the Bobcats and cleared. Zahalka got the puck in her own zone, start things up. Before the Lopes a man up, here's Gray. Gray down to the corner, back to Zahalka. Over to Volman. Volman lets it rip from the circle. It went wide. Johnson to Zahalka. Zahalka from the right circle. She shoots, hit a body on its way to the net. Zook's backhand pass went right to a defender in McKinney, but the puck couldn't get taken out by Montana State. Zooks wins that battle for the puck. Zooks surveys, put one on, got it right back, now putting another on. Volman was there point blank and it went wide. Gray up top, now it's Gray. Johnson put it through the crease. Bonello's got the puck, second unit coming out for Grand Canyon. Bonello working around to Armit. Sorensen. Sorensen lets it rip. Blocked in front. 5.5 to go. Bonello. Now shot. Blocked again. That time on Sorensen. Bonello again. Now a blast from Ramsey. Kicked aside. Still with it is Grand Canyon. Bonello, another shot, but she fanned on it. And Montana State is finally able to get some fresh legs. An entire new 4 out for the Bobcats. In hard was number 4 on that. The penalty is over. Some good chances there for Grand Canyon, but Montana State was able to hold on. That pass too far for Briggs. And then tripping over herself to get to that puck was Lawrence, and it heads back to the Lopes. They are onside. Cheney has got it, around for Roberts. MSU clears. No, it's still Briggs. Briggs lost the puck to the stick lift of number 4. Great defense. Lopes are offsides, and that allows Montana State to break out of their own zone. Here's Hobbs. Up ahead for Miller. Miller couldn't get around a couple of defenders. Hobbs picks it up. Hobbs crossing ice to the far side. 3 Antelopes are there to take that puck away. But Miller was in there to stop the puck on the forecheck. Out to the neutral zone now. Slid across for Taryn. Cricky is on her. And the puck is onto the stick of Zahalka. 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Grand Canyon's just got to hold on, keep Montana State out of the net, and they are in. Utah begging for the Bobcats to get one more. It is garbage time, really, for both of these teams, but not for the Utes, and definitely not for the Antelopes. 3 minutes to go in this game. Face off, won by Grand Canyon. Hewitt, a backhand pass to Volman. He flipped it up and out of the zone. Now behind Volman is the puck. Rolling down McCarthy is going to be the first one there. On the forecheck is Morissette. McCarthy staying with that puck. Zooks is there to help her out. But it's kept in by Montana State, who now has possession. Went through the crease, that puck. And Volman flips it out. Now Gray. Gray's got it. Gray's got room. Gray in tight, making a move. Rebound, score! Alyssa Volman getting in on the action. It's 7-1 Grand Canyon.
Volman decided I need to get in on this, man. There's 6 goals for my team tonight. Why not make it 7, man? And this is the largest lead of the night at 6 for the Antelopes.
GCU pouring it on, taking it out on Montana State after that heartbreaking overtime loss on Friday. And right now, there's still 2:30 to go, but it looks like we might get a rematch of that Friday night game. It is Volman's 12th of the year. Good for 25 points total. Now points in both games here in the pool play. In Montana State's end, 2:05 on the clock. Sorensen, Zahalka trying to get in there. They kicked out to neutral zone, arm it back in. Lopes got a tag up, and they'll just get a change for Chisake Susi to slow the puck down. Good stick there by Schock. Schock is in, she shoots, just blockered aside by Annika Olsen. A little dangerous there.
My goodness. Olsen's been facing not quite as many shots as Carlson, but she stood her ground, only allowing 1 on the night. That was an easy deflection. Another draw coming in Montana State's offensive end, and they'll take it.
So, to make the math all make sense for you, GCU and Utah are both going to be 1-1. Overtime does not matter. That puck is loose, and it got kicked aside. Both these teams have 4 goals against. That is the first tiebreaker after head-to-head. Of course, Grand Canyon and Utah don't play each other this season or in pool play, and so head-to-head doesn't matter there, which means the next tiebreaker is goals against. The total goals against in pool play for both of them is 4. Here comes Huey into the zone. And so then the next tiebreaker is point differential. Right now, Utah has a +4 point differential, and Grand Canyon has a +5 point differential. That is the difference here. Volman went through the crease. As long as the puck stays in Montana State's end, it's going to be the Lopes. Clock stops with 32.2 to go. A last chance effort here for the Bobcats and the Utes in their name. What a roller coaster of pool play. 2 overtime matches. Both of them won by the Buffaloes, who are going to be in and playing tomorrow morning. And the last try here for Montana State for that final game to be CU Utah. 18, 16, 15 seconds to go in this one. All the way down to the other end. 8, 7. And it's not going to be enough. Grand Canyon will be playing for a spot in Nationals tomorrow morning. It's going to be a rematch. Antelopes, Buffaloes, to see who is going to St. Louis. A 7-1 emphatic domination by the Lopes. And I'm not sure that they know it, but they are playing tomorrow morning.
Speechless. Utter domination, as you said, Paxton, from this Antelopes team. They have rightfully earned their spot to take on Colorado in this rematch. So we welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. Kieran Wager, joined by Paxton Haynes, as always, my goat right here, doing all the research, getting ready for these hockey teams. I mean, your dedication this season, Paxton, has been tremendous. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I got to save these for tomorrow, these accolades. But my goodness, what a game for this Antelopes team. Montana State tried to hold their own. They tried to generate some opportunities throughout the course of the game. Got one past Annika Olsen, and that was the one goal they scored tonight. Rather impressive, but overall, 6 points was the difference tonight. The biggest lead tonight for the Antelopes. They held on all the way through 60 minutes of play and have earned their spot to face Colorado in the WWCHL Championship.
So that does it for the season of Montana State. It was a great one. They went 14-5, 1-1 in the regular season. They actually had the entire WWCHL beat in terms of point percentage coming into pool play. They were pretty thoroughly beaten by both Utah and Grand Canyon, but massive respect to Montana State. What a season they had, and they would be going back to Bozeman, I am sure, happy and satisfied with the season they had, not the outcome they wanted here in the playoffs.
Reese McConnell, very energetic, the goaltender for the Bobcats. She takes to center ice.
And then Utah, their season has also come to an end. What a brutal way. The regular season champions in the WWCHL had an incredible regular season, but just due to a tiebreaker of goal differential.
It's brutal. There's no other way to describe it. And this rink has gone silent. It's eerily quiet.
The Antelopes are leading a prayer at center ice as they will head back to their locker room. Some final embraces from teammates on these teams. Always fun seeing the teammates on opposing squads that know each other. Always taking photos after the game. A lot of love for all these teams in ACHA and women's hockey. So, Kieran, it's going to be Grand Canyon and Colorado again tomorrow. Colorado got the best of Grand Canyon, or I should say Grand Canyon got the best of Colorado, but it was Colorado who got the win in overtime. Alexa Catan was the hero. What are you looking forward to in that matchup tomorrow, Kieran?
I'm just looking for this game to be incredibly competitive. Colorado has held both their opponents so far this weekend, the Antelopes and the Utes, to incredibly close games, forcing overtime. And I would expect nothing less tomorrow from both of these squads as they remain competitive with one another. Kind of these other matches, especially against the Bobcats, were kind of lopsided, I must say. Bobcats, I mean, they had one heck of a season, but just could not hold on for this playoff series. So Colorado versus GCU, it's going to be a thriller tomorrow morning here at the Rec. Colorado, of course, trying to defend their home turf and clinch a spot in St. Louis.
If you wanted entertaining hockey, you're going to get it tomorrow. That first game between GCU and CU was some of the best hockey I have ever seen, period. And hopefully tomorrow delivers as well. It'll be here on Scope Buff Sports tomorrow at 11 a.m. Hope you all get up in time for the men's gold medal match, and then right after, pick it right back up for some women's hockey. Here we will declare a champion. We have got Quinn Kreck, who is rinkside with the winning team. Quinn, let's send it down to you.
Tomorrow, big performance. Are you expecting another big one tomorrow?
Oh, hell yeah.
Eddie, what was your favorite part of the night?
Just playing with my line mates, you know, we're pretty gross. Also liked your guys' commentary you guys were making on the previous games. Roast beef sandwich.
Thank you guys.
All right, after that, I'll send that back up to you guys.
it is all in good fun. I know I like to make fun of these teams sometimes, but just having some fun up here in the box. A big lot of love to the Grand Canyon team. Thank you for that interview, Quinn. Great stuff. We could hear him all the way from up here in the broadcast booth just from.
You could hear a pin drop in this rink. It is silent. This is unreal.
But incredible stuff, an incredible weekend of pool play. 4 games up, 4 games down. Colorado went 2-0 on the weekend. Utah and Grand Canyon going 1-1. Montana State 0-2. It is going to be Grand Canyon getting in over Utah thanks to a goal differential tiebreaker. What a weekend of hockey, Kieran. We've got one more game to go this season.
It's not over yet. It's kind of surreal. There's only one hockey game that will be left, that will be played in this rink. Before we move on to lacrosse and baseball here on SBS, I'm excited for those seasons. I mean, we'll leave it at that. But, I mean, covering hockey here this year has been absolutely incredible. We've got our SBSA crew out here, Paxton, Quinn, myself, Jackie, Nick, having everybody out here who has come to help out with these streams. It's been nothing short of incredible, and it's been an honor calling these games alongside you, Paxton.
Thank you, Kieran. You as well. Set your alarms, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, Buffaloes and Antelopes for the WWCHL title. It will be here on Sko Buff Sports. On behalf of everyone here on the broadcast, I'm Paxton Haynes with Kieran Warger, bringing you the games this weekend. We got one more coming your way tomorrow, 11 a.m., Buffs and Lopes. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching Sko Buff Sports. As always, you heard it here first. See you tomorrow morning.
Seniors are being honored. The primetime event today is the men's event distance melody relay, where CU, BYU, NAU, and New Mexico are looking to solidify their spot for the NCAA championship race. This is the last meet before the Big 12 Indoor Championship next weekend.
The men's golf team finished 16th out of 24 universities competing at the PGA West. The third round was canceled due to high winds, leaving Stanford the winner after 2. The Buffs shot 19 strokes over par in the first round, putting them near the bottom of the leaderboard. The Black and Gold were able to turn things around, shooting just 3 shots over par on day 2. The wind was a factor all weekend, with only 3 schools finishing under par. Meanwhile, the women's team will head to Sacramento, California to compete in the Causeway Invitational. The first 2 rounds will be played on Monday, with the final being held on Tuesday.
The Buffs announced their spring volleyball schedule on Wednesday. CU's first spring match will be at Northern Colorado in Greeley on March 28th, then followed up by matches against Wyoming at 12:30. The Buffs will then host CSU at the Event Center April 4th at 11:30 a.m. Then will travel to Fort Collins for a match 2 weekends later on April 28th, and following that match will play against the Denver Pioneers.
Former Colorado men's basketball star KJ Simpson is heading back to the Mile High, signing a 2-way deal with the Denver Nuggets on Wednesday. Simpson spent 3 seasons in Boulder, was first-team All-Pac-12 in 2024, and was taken 42nd overall by the Charlotte Hornets in that year's NBA draft. Denver opened a 2-way spot after converting forward Spencer Jones' contract to a standard deal yesterday. After being waived earlier this month, Simpson now gets a fresh opportunity to continue his NBA career close to where he started in college. Another former Buff and forward Jabari Walker re-signed with the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year deal. Walker has appeared in 46 games this season, making 6 starts.
Colorado forward Hope Leba has been selected for the training camp with the under-23 U.S. women's national team. Leba has scored 32 career goals at Boulder, tying Kate Griffin for 4th in team history. She will go into her senior season with a chance to top CU career record for goals, Shira James at 47. This past season, the Buffaloes ended their season 17-4-3, 8-1-2 in Big 12 play. This is a major step forward for Leba and a proud moment for the Buffs program.
Hey, Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 5 plays in Colorado sports. Tons of variety this week for once. So we're diving right in with our number 5 pick this week. Let's go to women's hoops to start off. Maeve McErlane going up, driving, and she'll make it to the basket as she goes down. What a play to put the Buffs back on top in the third quarter against Arizona. Holy cow. Let's stay at women's hoops for number 4. This time it's Anael Dutant from Jade Masagayo, and she makes the backdoor cut. Ladies and gentlemen, what a play indeed, going right to the basket. Beautiful cut by Dutant, and what a game that was for her down in Tucson. Now for number 3, let's go over to lacrosse, our first lax play of the week this year. And it's taken by Tegan Ryan. She rips it past for a hat trick on the day. Colorado starting off their season red hot. Number 2, let's stay with more women's sports. Let's go over to women's hockey. Look out, here comes Anna Masiello. One-on-one on the breakaway, and she scores right between the legs against DU in the final home game of the regular season. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 now, let's go over to men's hoops. It's Isaiah Johnson. He's going to hang on to it himself. Going out to his left. Finally driving up court. Alley-oop and the deck attack! Isaiah Johnson, 27 points on the night against BYU, though it was a loss. That's going to do it for this week's Plays of the Week here on Scoba Sports. I'm Kieran Warger, wishing you a wonderful weekend.
Here we see Xavier McNevitz working on his reader for the live show. If we didn't have these readers done by Thursday night, chances are we would not be airing this show right now. Be like Xavier. Get your readers done. And don't forget to click save so that you don't lose any of your hard-earned work.
Hey Buffs fans, I'm Jake Zhao bringing you this week's Rapid Fire. Tomorrow, Colorado women's lacrosse will look to keep their red-hot start to the season going as they host the Towson Tigers. First draw is set for noon at the Kittredge Fields, or you can watch live on ESPN+. Then afterwards, take the short trek to the CU Event Center right after as your Buffs men's basketball team hosts the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Tip-off is set for 1:30 p.m. and will be streamed live on TNT. Then celebrate your women's basketball seniors as they host top 20 rated Texas Tech. The women's are slated to play in March, so catch some hoops action from the CU Event Center at 7 p.m. That game will be streamed live on ESPN+. And coming out the busy weekend, catch the WWCHL Championship from the CU Rec Center against either Colorado, Montana State, GCU, or Utah. That game will be right here on Scope Buff Sports on Sunday. It's a busy weekend, so be sure to support your Buffs. Back to you at the desk.
Whatever, Jake. Mid-rapid fire. Now it's time for this week's trivia answer. As a reminder, we asked you how many points away is Isaiah Johnson from Colorado's freshman scoring record. Drum roll, s'il vous plaît. The answer is 83. Johnson is closing in on Alec Burks' freshman record of 512. The mark has stood since 2010. Burks also set CU's single-season scoring record as a sophomore with 779. And after this year, we'd bet on Johnson to push that too. Oh, now it's time for the tweet of the week. And we head to Tad Boyle, who had a surprise visitor. It was Derek White, who came to the weekly radio basketball show with Mark Johnson. And that's all we have for you guys this week. I'm Harrison Simeon.
And I'm Brittany Garcia.
And you heard it here first.